Hey, welcome, folks. Welcome back. After a little bit of
A break?
hiatus there, yeah. We're happy to be back, and we're going to continue our blog. What do you call it?
It's a podcast.
A podcast.
You can call it a blog. We
Yeah.
can
Call it whatever you want.
call it whatever we want. It's called the Ivan Files. We know that.
Just don't call me Shirley.
Just don't call me.
And today, one of the things we should probably talk about to dive right into the soup is that we're into a new year,
Mm-hmm.
and we have governmental things that we're concerned about because we are in a democracy.
Mm-hmm.
So we ought to at least know who our legislators are. Do you think so?
Oh, that'd probably help.
Yeah.
Can't hurt.
Yeah. So I made this list, and this is Kelly's and mine, and I didn't know your address.
Oh, shucks.
He can find it real quick. We can,
So I could get you, I could produce yours
You
too.
could tell me who my legislator is.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Right. So the reason for doing that is that there are things that we might like about what they're doing, or things we might not like about what they're doing, or even thinking about that we know of. And so we should write to them. We should contact them somehow. Some of them like to be contacted by email, and otherwise, well, probably not telephone, but mostly email and writing.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you could say what it is that you're concerned about and what you'd like to see them do for the new year. And so they may have other ideas, but they could share it with you, and you could share it with them, and you could we could just have a good cauldron of soup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
Legislative
conversation.
soup, yeah.
yeah, and it's a brand new year, not only because of the date, right? 25 is here,
Yeah.
but it's a complete change in government.
Yeah.
We swing all the way back the other way, and so, yeah, I think basically what he's saying is get a hold of your legislators, find out who's in your district, and that's how you get things done. You can fuss, you can gripe about the voting that you did, you can fuss and you can gripe about who was elected, but you're not going to get anything accomplished by doing that. So get a hold of your legislator, find out who it is. By the way, the 25th District Legislator in Puyallup is Cindy Jacobson and Kelly Chambers.
Oh, yes.
Representatives.
Good old Cindy Jacobson.
Good old Cindy and Kelly. Kelly's a great name. She
Yeah.
spells it the same way I do. But yeah, I think that they welcome letters, phone calls, or whatever. They're supposed to. I don't know if it's as prominent today as it used to be, but that is how you move things.
Yeah, and I would say like today it's much easier to contact these individuals than it's ever been before. I know that my father-in-law kind of got on a social and blew up some things and some opinions, and one of the representatives reached out and said, "Hey, let's grab coffee."
Oh, wow.
Like just from a social media post. So, I mean, it can be done. You just got to send your communications that way and direct it in their general direction.
Yeah, and you
I
really
think
don't
people are
know.
gonna come
Maybe
back.
your idea will launch
Yeah.
through, they are supposed to be, we are their constituents. So of all the offices, the representatives, in my opinion, have the most important job because they're supposed to represent what you and I think. And it's the little guy. They're the littler guy, but they're supposed to take it next up. And they're supposed to find out if that person has that interest, how many more people have that same interest. And I think they're politically quite a bit smaller. not in a bad way, but in a logical way. I think they all have regular jobs and are representatives.
Yeah.
You want to remember that all politics really starts at the local level, and that's where the rubber reach,
Rubber meets the road.
meets the road. Yeah, yeah, that's what it does. All right.
I just saw a school board. I want to say it was in because they're also a political group, but I think it was in Oregon. It was on the news. It made the news. But now, all of their meetings have to be recorded
Oh, really?
because I think what happened is they went into a special meeting, and you're allowed to have special meetings where you're talking about salaries and things like that that are not public information, which they should be. But what did they call those? God, it's so many years ago. Anyway, and I think they were there are certain things that you cannot discuss in those meetings, and so it sounds like that might have been taken advantage of. You can't discuss anything except what you tell the community you're going to discuss.
Gotcha.
So yeah,
Yeah.
kind of interesting. Got in a little trouble.
Yeah.
So that doesn't account for what gets talked about in the hallway.
Well, the hallway, yeah. No two board members, you can't have, like, two board members can't go anywhere, or three board members, I think it is, because that's a vote.
Yeah.
So at any time, they could vote on something. So you weren't allowed to commiserate without it be, if you you had to post it somewhere that.
I forget what that law is called, but there's a name for
Mhm.
it. Yeah. They did
Yeah.
that because people were, they were going to a side and
Uh-huh.
making rules and stuff, and everybody didn't like it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So are you gonna get a hold of a legislator this quarter?
probably yeah,
You should.
yeah.
What would you talk to him about?
Well, I don't know yet, but I'll think of something. Well, I'll see what he's doing or she's doing.
Yeah.
It looks like they're mostly she's actually.
Got a lot of she's.
Yeah,
got a lot of she's.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's an excellent thing. The more she's, the better. Up to a point, that is. Up 55% or something like that. That would work good. Yeah, and that would. In smaller countries that have had predominantly female legislators, the crime rate has decreased significantly. They just don't have as much crime as we do in this country. Interesting. Lord, we have all kinds of things. That's one thing I'm going to talk to them about. Is this idea of advertising every dang shooting or thing like that occurs, because there's research that says that there'll be another one in 13 days. And that seems to hold up pretty well. And,
Is that right?
So, why would you want that? And some sheriffs have been on the ball enough to not show the face or the name, and that's exactly what ought to happen. Because others that are right on the verge of maybe wanting to do something will take that as an incentive. So-and-so got famous by doing that, so I think I will too. And so that's got to stop.
Sure.
It's got to stop. Okay. It's not a mental health problem. It's a mental health problem after it occurs. But, up to it, there's all kinds of ways it can be done to take care of it. But the biggest thing is to do not advertise it at all, and of course, the media tends to say, well, People are entitled to all the news as possible. Well, no. There was a time when suicides were rampant, and so they cut it off, and so they didn't when somebody committed suicide, they didn't
Announce it.
announce it, make a big deal out of it, which works.
Yeah.
So that's a good example.
I mean, as long as people engage with that and continue to like watch those kinds of stories, it's not going to go anywhere, regretfully.
Yeah.
And as we see the rise of everyone putting everything on the internet all the time,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as long as that stuff is getting clicks, then regretfully it's going to be shown. I think back to when as the CEO that just got slain,
Mm-hmm.
was it a month ago now?
Yeah, about that.
And, it became this very classist story where it was like upper class versus lower class. But the fact of the matter is, a man was gunned down in the street, and then it turned into this big story that social media shared round and round and round.
And then you got freaks that want to marry him because he's good looking.
Is he good looking?
No.
I mean,
He's horrible looking.
I don't know.
If you yeah, I mean-
that's the first thing I heard from somebody too. It's like, he's so hot. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, how?
Yeah.
How?
But hey, I mean, to each their own. But yeah, it's as long as that stuff continues to gain like popularity and clicks, then it's going to be there, regretfully. What was so interesting about the CEO being shot is the fact that stories seem to have more traction because of the narrative that was set around that, right? Healthcare and denials, and then also this class warfare only fueled that fire and made it go so much further.
Yeah.
But I mean, back to your previous point, like as long as media is stoking the fire, then it's not going to go anywhere, right? I mean, when that guy was initially shot, it was a huge manhunt. It was on every channel, everywhere.
Yeah, they can do all they want with guns, but that's not going to solve it at all.
Yeah.
So, first podcast of the year, what are you going to change in 2025 as a 91-year-old man?
What did you say?
Hearing aid, first of all. What are you going to change in
Battery.
2025 as a 91-year-old man? What are you going to do differently?
Well, I might wear a hearing aid.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out the one I got.
Yes, I know, the one you bought on Amazon.
It just squeals at me
Oh,
all the time.
does it?
Yeah.
Oh man.
So, well, I'm going to be looking for, I'm going to look to the skies.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think they're up there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to see them. And you all ought to, look to the skies too.
You talking about UFOs and stuff?
Huh?
You talking about aliens?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's...
Well, spaceships and things that aren't put up there by us.
Yeah.
That's hard to determine, though, because they don't tell us what they're doing. But and I'm gonna, I'm gonna be concerned about that, and I'm concerned about there's a new system of physics that needs to be dealt with somehow, and they're not doing it, because of it's like the old traditional system of physics seems to hold sway, and this is something that's a little different, and we're going to be talking about invisible things,
Uh-oh.
things we can't see, can't feel, or recognize that you feel it, that sort of thing. So we're going to be talking about some of that sort of stuff.
What about you, Shelbs?
Oh boy, so much.
So much.
2025. Yeah, 2025 is going to be a great year.
It is going to be a great year.
2020, that's hard for me to answer, like just flat out.
Yeah.
Just refocusing on what's important, what we can control, and then trying to get a little bit more stable in just how everything plays out. So we'll see. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be good.
What about you?
Oh, very easy for me to answer.
Yeah.
My give a shit monitor is going to radically change, and already has. And
Say,
it's,
is that a 2025?
yeah, it is. No, I mean 2025. I am going to be hyper focused on my husband and I, and I'm going to be hyper focused on the things that are out of your control. Really let those go. Because that's what I spend the fair majority of my time worrying about and stressing about is things that I have absolutely no control over. So
Yeah.
at 58, almost 59 years old, I'm going to learn that skill so that I can educate my grandchildren on that skill, because I think it's a really important skill to get to 91 without losing your mind.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna be able to tell people, nope. And I'm also gonna be able to tell people, think you're full of poo, and I'm gonna put me and my husband first.
Nice.
Yeah,
Good for you.
so I'm looking forward to that.
Put what first?
Me and my husband.
Oh,
Yeah, you're gonna be on your own a little more this year, Dad. We're gonna go away on the weekend,
that's good. Yeah. Yeah.
but it's gonna be a good year. It's gonna be a good year.
It will be.
It will be a good year. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, tip your hat and say we'll see you in not next when
We'll see you soon.
see you I think next week.
Next
Yeah.
week, yeah, we'll see you folks. Tune
Yeah.
in. Send us an email.
It's the Ivan at
No.
the Ivan 1933. No, what is
Yeah,
it?
that's it.
Yeah, the Ivan at 1933 at gmail.com.
Yeah.
Send him an email, please. Send him an email.
We may have to
Well, see you later.
have another one with that's